Hello, TheChudude here, and welcome to another episode of the Weekly Rant. I'm sorry to tell you, but the first 10 minutes of this week's Weekly Rant are going to be cut out because I recorded with Fraps and it screwed up the footage, and therefore you're listening to this message. We're jumping in, we're talking about Tramadol, and we didn't really miss much. For the first 10 minutes, we talked about Tramadol, and Tramadol is a painkiller that causes drowsiness, and the big teams are actually using it. Lotto is one of the teams using this, and it's caused a lot of crashes. As you might know, Lotto has had an issue with crashes, and Tramadol might be the issue. Where we're jumping in, we're talking about should Tramadol be banned, or should teams be able to choose whether to ban it or not. Hope you're gonna enjoy this week's Weekly Rant. This is the last time it's gonna be like this. I know I said it last week, but this week is the very last time because I'm buying Action, which is another recording program. So thank you guys for watching. Please leave a like. I'm sorry, but jumping straight in here. 3, 2, 1. And my audio was apparently messing up on the stream, so I hope this is better. So we're gonna cross our fingers and knock on wood, and let's get this to work. So you were saying something, Tutor, about how are they gonna measure Tramadol use in the peloton? I don't think they can do that. I think it's just a moral question. How much Tramadol do you want to use, and do you want to allow it? What do you think about this, baseball lover?
Personally, I think they should just ban it. Like, yes, maybe it helps them, but I mean that's not part of the sport. That's no, you deal with the pain. That's part of that is part of the sport. What isn't part of the sport is crashing all the time because one rider's getting a little drowsy and their reflexes aren't good enough to react. And you're not only putting yourself in danger, but you're putting other people in danger. And sure, you can take some more painkillers so that you can, not feel that, but those injuries are still going to exist, and you should be held responsible then for everybody else that you've crashed. That you can't just have that in a peloton where everyone's going so fast and you need such quick reactions. I think they should ban it.
I follow
Yeah,
you.
but if you do ban tramadol, they're just going to use different type of painkillers. It's not going to really change much. What, you're going to ban all painkillers? That's not feasible. Like, I don't see that being feasible.
But it's not all painkillers. Right now, it's proven that Tramadol's doing this. So why not ban one painkiller at a time? Like, just let them use Panadol Sap or whatever. Like, that's what we're using in Denmark against pain. But I mean, Tramadol, it's such a serious drug that it's actually hurting the peloton. I think you should look at it. But in the end, we're not UCI, and UCI has wake rules. So
It's like they can't you can't just say that, like, let this happen. It's obvious that something's happening in the peloton because of this, and you can't just let that happen.
Okay, yeah, I follow you. But I mean, all these topics that we discuss, they're always on the edge, and that's what makes the rant so good, because all these topics, you don't know if the user is going to do something about it, and they're not going to do something about it. They probably should do something about it in this case, because I am for banning Tramadol, but that's how it is. Next topic, and I don't know if Tramadol was involved with this, and Baseballlover, would you please concentrate on the rant instead of what's happening in the race, but Johan went summer and crashed, and I'm not sure if that had anything to do with Tramadol. He hit a lady in the run from Lander in the early stages before TV coverage, and a bystander caught it with his camera, and this lady is now in a coma, plus she had 2 brain surgeries. There is now some speculation on who's to blame for this. Is it either Johan Sumran, or is it the lady herself? What do you guys think, and how should they handle this? Can someone sue the other, or should you just let this be? You can start, baseball lover.
I have strong feelings on this, and I'm not sure if either of them really caused the crash on purpose. Like, there was a piece of road, a small piece of road furniture in the road, and he might have gotten caught up on that, but it's her own fault that she got injured. She was right in the middle of the road. You don't just be in the middle of the road when there's a peloton coming at you. You just don't. It's just common sense. And so you can't just blame Van Summeren for crashing and her being so injured because you don't stand in the middle of the road. That's just not something you do, and if you do it, then it's your own fault how hurt you get. You don't just go in the road when there's a peloton coming by, and it cannot be their fault for simply riding on the course that they're supposed to and the spectator being there. You can't blame them. I mean, maybe she didn't cause the crash. Maybe it would have happened anyway. But it's her own fault that she was a part of it.
Okay, what do you think, TheChudude?
Well, I don't think it's one person's fault. I think right here it is. I see it as two types. Like, it's definitely her fault for being there, but it's definitely the race commission's fault. Like, normally when you see like those little road islands in the middle, you have like a police there waving a flag or red light or something like that to signal to the riders that there's like a little island in the road or some sort of hazard, and that's what normally happens. And we didn't see that. We just saw like this is a normal thing, and then like there was no warnings or anything for the riders. So that always, you can say that's a problem for the. It was the problem of, was it the race organization, that they should be fined or get punished for it. Then that's probably right, because who knows, if there was a cop there and waving a flag, that would not have happened. Like, I don't see Van Summeren crashing. And also people might, some people may say that Van Summeren was trying to make a bunny hop across to take a shortcut. That's questionable as well, because Van Summeren hasn't actually came out and said anything about it, which is, I would like to see something happen. I mean, there's investigations done.
I would say that would be the stupidest thing I've ever heard if he went out now and said, "I'm sorry, lady, but I actually tried to do the Sagan stunt, and it didn't really work out in my favor and your favor either. I take the blame 100%. He would get sued to the end of the day, like to the end of his days, if he did that. If you follow me.
Like, why was she there though? It's just,
I don't know. Hey guys, I got a great idea. I got a great view. We just have to stand in front of the peloton.
Probably
we're gonna be in the peloton.
Yeah, it's so stupid. But a comment on the Cycling video was that it's probably the man's fault. Someone posted, it was a woman who posted this. Probably the man was
always the man's fault.
Look at what I can do. You guys should follow me. And he lifted the kid and put him there. It's like, that's what a woman said in the Cycling Hub, which is, I find it pretty hilarious because it's kind of funny. But yeah, it's the Van Summeren crash. It's a very strange crash, because you don't see many of those where the spectators get like really injured by it. Like, she was in a life-threatening condition at one point, and if she would have died, would Johan Van Summeren gotten jail time for that? Or not jail time, but like big freaking fine. Maybe even 30 days of jail time. I could see that in some countries. What do you think about this?
He's not gonna get jail time.
If she died.
If she died, it's still her fault. That I don't like. I mean, I obviously feel bad that she's in such horrible condition, but if she dies, that just because it's serious, it's even more serious now, doesn't make it his fault.
The thing is, if there was a crash in the peloton and obviously someone's going to cause it and someone died, it doesn't mean someone gets jail time. It's just a bad accident that just happened. I mean,
yeah. Are they gonna find the people who run the road on the descent in the Giro because Wouter Whalen died on it? They can't just they can't give the people that run that road jail time.
Well, technically they could if they had enough evidence. But didn't the guy that hit Hugolin, did he get a big fine? The driver?
He should. Yeah, that's the kind of thing.
They couldn't find who it was though.
What? There's you have a video showing the inside of the car. You can look at the video, get facial recognition, find out who it is, and then
yeah,
he must have been punished somehow.
I only read it last year or something. They said that they still haven't found the guy, or the guy hasn't came out to say sorry or anything like that. But it's kind of strange.
I would not say sorry either, because you are in deep shit if you did. I mean, sometimes you need to know when to shut your mouth and when to say something when it's your best interest. No, it's very mean to say, but
Johnny Hugolin was really pissed off because the guy didn't say sorry. He's like, I didn't care if the guy crashed me, but he didn't say sorry, so I'm still really mad about it. So.
Yeah, it's kind of funny how he just drove away. He hit him and then just ran away. It's hilarious. I'm pretty sure they found him.
I don't think it was very hilarious for him.
I'm actually pretty sure that they found him because he got banned. Like, he could not report anymore off the race, like off the Tour de France that year. Wow. Didn't do my research in this because I didn't think I'd be talking about this. Very funny though. But that is enough. Van Summeren is actually coming back to the Paris-Roubaix actually today when you're watching this video, but we're recording this the day before. But Johan Van Summeren is going to come back, and the husband to the wife who's in coma right now had 2 brain injuries or brain surgeries. ask Johan van Sumeren to win the race and then dedicate the victory to her. Which, if he does, is a very... If he does go up and end it up and win it, it's a very noble gesture.
That would be, yeah, that would be, but that's not gonna happen.
Be
But that's
very
not
cool.
cool.
I don't even think Garmin is going for him.
No, I wouldn't either. That man must be in a very bad mental state now after that happened. Sorry for
Hey, he
that.
won it. He won it in 2011 and proposed to his wife that day. So
Well,
good
you do
things
have to remember,
sometimes.
they weren't even going for him that day either. That's true. They were going for Hushoft, and
Wait, so
then
you're saying there's a chance he might win it because they're not going for him either today or tomorrow?
no, but I'm saying like the situations are obviously not similar, but like he's never really been the leader, and yet he still pulls out results every now and then.
Exciting. But I think that's enough of that topic. Let's move on to the next one. Another one is this next one is it was caused, or I want to talk about this because of the Eurosport commentators. It was Real Stevens and Colin Kirby. No, not Colin Kirby. It was, who's that other guy commentating? Well, it was Real Stevens and his co-commentator who were talking about this, because they were like, Saxo Bank's jersey looks too much like the yellow jersey, because they saw that Contador was in the País Vasco yellow jersey, and they couldn't tell the difference between Contador and another rider, and they're like, should they be allowed in the Tour de France to ride with that jersey, or should the ASO tell them to make like a special Tour de France jersey with like either a darker yellow jersey, or a darker yellow color, or... should they just change their Saxo Bank's design completely? What do you guys think? You can start Baseball Lover in this one.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see why they can't just, reverse the colors again. Like, I mean, it's nobody ever liked that jersey anyway. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely going to blend in way too much, and the yellow jersey is something pretty prestigious, so they can't just, like, not make it matter. So, yeah, I agree.
Okay, well, I kind of want to see Saxo Bank make like a Tour de France edition jersey. Like, you know how sometimes they make a Tour de France edition and they make a Vuelta a España? Right now, I'm looking at NetApp's. I got like a miniature NetApp jersey. Like, I won a competition on their channel or on their Facebook, and I won a NetApp Vuelta a España jersey, and it looks really cool. And why couldn't Saxo Bank do the same thing? Because I think it might actually be a problem with their yellow color, because it might blend in very much. What do you think, TheChudude?
It definitely is a problem. There's no doubt about that. I think they should change it. I mean, the jersey already doesn't look great. I mean, what they could do is just go back with the old jersey, which looked pretty nice. I mean, I wasn't against the old jersey. The old jersey looked nice, and what they've done this year is kind of looks weird. It looks a bit funky, but yeah, I think they should change it. It's only right for the Tour de France. I mean, it's very prestigious, and I don't think they can have something that might ruin the reputation of it, or just sort of undermines it a bit. So I think they should definitely change it, certainly.
Seems like we all agree on this one, and chance we'll actually see it happen is close to none. So that's a sad thing, though, because actually Tinkoff might actually pull something off. Who knows? The man is so unpredictable.
He'll probably make like a red jersey or something with like the Russian flag.
No, he'll make a green jersey, and then they complain about the green jersey looking too much like the Saxo Bank jersey. Then
He'll make a polka dot one.
oh, that could be so funny.
Like just full polka dots and then a Russian flag across the back.
It's like, we won't win the jersey anyway, therefore we'll just make our own, live with it, YOLO. Well, on to the next topic, guys. Next topic is one we all have dear in heart, because it's a PCM topic. Early on this week, Cyanide updated their dev blog, and they added some landscape to this new game, and of course it's based around the Tour de France, and they've updated the starting city, because next year, this year technically, in 2 months' time, the Tour de France is going to start in Yorkshire, and they've done some buildings, some iconic buildings in Yorkshire, and put them in the game. What do you guys think about this? Do you like that they're focusing on the Tour de France so much? You can start shooting with this one.
I don't like this. I mean, sure, it sells some games. That's what they do. But for us who play the game every year, I mean, these little new fancy buildings to the side isn't going to change how we perceive the game and how we like it. We're all for the new gameplay features, the new visual effects of riders, and these little building changes, like they made Champs-Élysées look really good this year. Yeah, it looked good, but gameplay wise it didn't change anything, and probably people don't care about it after like couple weeks, couple months. Really, it just makes it look good, and it makes them have better trailers, and that's what sells the game, and that's what they're going to do.
Yesterday I watched a stream from Kentarius, I think it's called, on PCM Daily. On Twitch he's called B4. He was streaming.
Kentaurus.
Yeah, he was streaming his BMC career, and I was watching him, and he was playing PCM 12. I'm like, why are you playing PCM 12 when PCM 13 is out? He's like, well, PCM 13 doesn't work really. That's kind of, it's not really quoting him, but that's what I got from what he said. Because like the resistance stats doesn't work, and the career doesn't seem too interesting. Overall, he just liked PCM 12 better, and I think that's very, very sad when a game's process, now when a game's success is like PCM 13 was worse than PCM 12. That rarely happens in any games, and that just tells something that they messed up somewhere and they didn't focus on the right point. What do you think about the landscape, baseball?
I think it's especially depressing that Kentaurus actually has PCM 13 and he just won't play it. Like, he didn't even, like, not get it. He has it, and he prefers PCM 12. That's even sadder.
Yeah.
But, I'm like, seriously? They're spending their time and money to make more buildings that half of the people won't even be able to see? And it's off to the side anyway?
That is
Like,
so true.
literally, even if you do have those graphics, what are the chances that you're actually going to be like having a camera angle like that screenshot that you're just going to be staring at that building? Like freaking, at least if you're going to update graphics, make it like, something that you can use like rider models and stuff. I couldn't care less, and I hate the fact that they just spend their time and money and efforts on such stupid things.
That's incredibly sad, because I mean, I just realized that as well. Like, when I had my old computer, I wasn't seeing any of these buildings at all. Like, right now we're driving for a village. I wouldn't have seen that before. And if they spend so much time updating the graphics, I mean, I love it because now I can actually see them and the presentation is going to be better for the failure way and such. But for others, normal gamers, like the average gamer, the average Joe guy, it will suck. Like, you're like, what did they change? I don't see anything. My computer can barely run it like Fias. I mean, it really sucks. I can see where you're coming from. So, where do you think they should put their efforts?
Career. And gameplay and AI. Making the stats work.
So that you're basically just referring to T. Photon's Cycling Manager Evolve, because that's what he's trying to do with his new game.
Yep, I'd rather play his.
I think, actually, we're all looking really forward to it, because if he actually managed to, like, fix some of the things that needs to be fixed in this game, it's going to be a very enjoyable game to play, and I'm looking very forward to how he's approaching the game. Like, so far, he hasn't really released any videos or any pictures or anything, just words, and can't really trust words that much, so we'll see what's going to happen. I'd rather see a picture than a bunch of words. Okay, so, something I'm very proud to something I'm very proud to show you guys is a new thing we're going to add on to the show. It's called Tweet of the Week, and I'm pretty sure Handsball is going to love the first Tweet of the Week, and if someone could just link the Tweet of the Week in the chat right now, I'd be very happy about that, because it's Jürgen Rollins' tweet from the Tour of Flanders, because he crashed out for that. He said, "My trophy from Flanders that was stuck in my elbow looks like a little cobblestone," and he, like, we all know that Jürgen Rollins crashed out, and that was his end of his cobblestone season, and that just sucks for him, and it's kind of funny to have a little trophy of failure. So what do you guys think about this picture, and what does it represent for you guys?
I thought it was pretty funny. I mean, there's just like a little rock in a little container. It really summed up his day. I mean, he didn't have the best day in Flanders, and his classic season's pretty much over. So he's not going to be running the Roubaix, and he's going to be sitting at home probably watching. Hopefully, Nicky Terp should win it. But tweet of the week, hopefully it's going to be good. We're going to keep this going. If you guys see any good tweets, maybe you guys put it out there as well. I mean, it's pretty funny.
Yeah, I liked it. So this is something we're going to do every week now, just to like add some for the real cycling world, like just not us talking about the topics, but just to add some small features in it. And if you have an idea of a feature you want to see featured in this broadcast, this podcast, go ahead and say it. We'll look at it, and if it gets featured, we'll give you some credit. So, on to the next topic. So, we all know that our friends, they don't really like cycling. It's very uninteresting. It's not...
No tactics. There's absolutely no tactics.
It's all dope and all that, but when you watch it on TV, why would you watch 200 kilometers when you can just watch the final 500 meters? That's where all the action happens anyway. Well, that's not true. Brian Cookson, the head of UCI, has tried to fix this and suggested that we should add bike cameras to the favorites in a race. So, imagine this. Froome gets a bike camera on his bike. He goes up a mountain. You'll be able to see that in first person. How awesome would that be? What do you guys think about this?
Cameras, it's. I think they're trying a bit too hard. I mean, first of all, cameras they're not that good. If you have your GoPro attached to your yourself, it's not going to look that good because your head just moves everywhere and it just doesn't come off as good as everyone may think. I can see where he's coming from, trying to like help the sport grow because they definitely do need something to help it grow. I mean, do any other sports have these sort of cameras, sort of things? I mean, I've
Skiing
seen
does.
some
Like ski
sports
jump
do.
has it. Ski jump. That has
I
it.
just don't. I just don't see in cycling how it's going to like work because bike riders they go on bumps and stuff. It's just very unstable. I saw like a camera shot of Swain
Tooth?
Tooth.
Yeah.
Yeah, on the Green Edge video. That was horrible. Like you couldn't even see anything. By the end of that, I got a headache. So I just don't see how
You know what I would love
putting
to
in
see?
race when guys are going so quick, it's not going to help.
Imagine Mark Cavendish in a sprint. Like, how
God
awesome
damn.
would that be?
But you have to understand that, like, how many riders are actually going to want to put these things on their heads
Well, you
while
can
they're trying to
force them.
sprint?
It's not going to be on their heads. It's going to be on their bike.
On their bike, that's still making you less stable and making your bike heavier, and every marginal gain matters to everyone. Nobody's going to want to do it, and you're just going to have unhappy riders.
Well, I would love to. Just force it on them. I don't care about the riders. Put some production value into cycling. Make more guys watch the sport. Make us go bigger. Make the sport go bigger. Make the cycling hub go bigger. It's a win for all of us, except for the riders. I mean, just they can make some minor cameras to put on there and send our feed to the broadcasters.
Well, I can tell you that riders already are very anal about weight on their bike. They try to minimize the weight, and I don't think they'll be too happy with adding extra weight that won't help their
Exactly.
performance. Yeah.
Wouldn't you love to see Froome's attack on 112 in first person? When he
No, I
went away
hate
from
every
Galore?
time that Froome attacks, I cringe.
Dude, I want to see what it looked like, how fast he went up that mountain. He was sprinting to get away from Contador. He wasn't even leaving his saddle. I would love to see that. I mean, I don't care how much the bike shakes and all that. I would still love to see it. Just have the option to actually see it. I mean, I saw Svein Tuft's camera, but why would you put it on Svein Tuft? The guy is gonna be nowhere. I'd rather see it on Daryl Impey, who's at least gonna be up there, like near the front, or Peter Weening. I mean, I would love to see that. So I like the idea, but more like you guys don't think it'll work? You don't think they'll like it?
Mate, give it 30 years and something will develop, and we'll see something good maybe. But we just don't have the good technology right now. I just don't think.
Gotta have Google glasses. Have them like
Yeah.
send all the things they see, like just produce a camera called Google Camera and just have it on phone. Be fun to see.
Oh, they would look. That would look worse than Heyerdahl's glasses.
Oh yeah, that was funny how he brought like the retro glasses, like the ski glasses. Very funny. Okay, but I think that's also enough of that one. So now to my favorite topic of this video. Agostino, the Cannondale rider, got banned not too long ago from riding because of the UCI, because they found a drug in his urine, which he declared to them, but they didn't listen to him. So he wrote a letter to them early in this week. He wrote a letter to them, and it basically says that UCI, dear UCI, you ruined the sport that I love the most. After you tested me in this race, I told you that I have this drug in me because I have a rash in my back. You can see it if you want to. My doctor then prescribed me some medicine, and there was like 7 milligram in my body. I told you guys that, but you found it anyway, and you still contained me, or you like held me back for doping, and you gave me a fine, you gave me a suspension, and I just can't live in a sport where this is gonna happen. So UCI, you ruined the sport for me. What do you think about this? I find it very poetic. Do you think that Agostino should really be punished for this? Like, I don't know if we don't know the entire background story to this, but still. He got banned for something he told that he had in him, and it's not really a drug.
I find this really strange because I actually want to hear what the UCI had to say about this, because we're seeing it from one side view, I think, and there's going to be I don't know if that maybe UCI probably saw something else. Who knows? I mean, we really can't say much about it unless we actually know the full story of it. I think, and I don't know, like he probably took something. Was it performance enhancing? Who knows? If he really needed it, did he really need it? I don't know, but yeah, maybe. I don't know.
What do you think, Baseball Lover, of this letter? What do you find of this letter?
I think it's pretty sad. Like his exact words were something like, you ruined my dream," and like that's pretty sad. But I mean, how do you really judge if you don't know the whole story? I don't really feel comfortable doing that. I don't know the whole story. I don't really feel comfortable
Well,
like giving my opinion. But if what he says is true, then and I think it might be to some extent. I mean, I'm sure there's some bias going into it. Then I think it just enforces that the UCI is just messed up and they need to get their crap together.
yeah. Well, I feel really bad for Agostino. Feels like it's David versus Goliath. It's like a tiny guy versus the big guy, and he can't do anything because they rule. Like whatever he does, it doesn't matter because whatever they say goes. So I
Yeah.
feel very poetic, and it's a little underdog trying to go up against the bigger guys. And I really like how he released this letter because it puts some hatred against UCI, and we all don't really like the UCI because they don't enforce their rules very much, and they have vague rules.
They can't get this shit right.
Yeah, that's
it.
that's the true story. They can't get their shit right. Down plain, TheChudude said it. Quote TheChudude 2014. Like they just can't get anything right, or it doesn't seem like that in the recent years. And with Agostino's ban and him leaving the sport, very sad. I gotta say, I didn't really pay attention to him before this, and this is the first time I really paid attention to his case. But it's actually a pretty good PR stunt. Do you think that someone is gonna look into this case now and maybe there's a big chance of suing? Like I can see him suing now. Like
Yeah,
there's
definitely.
there's a bigger chance of Agostino suing UCI than that woman suing Ben Sumeren. So do you think they'll look
For
into
sure.
this?
They will. I mean, if what's his name, Agostino is going to sue the UCI. I mean, it's going to be very difficult for him. Obviously, he doesn't have much budget or anything like that. It's going to be difficult, and I don't see if he sues. I don't see him winning though. That's the thing. Like we saw the whole thing with Lance Armstrong because he had so much money, he would never lose any court cases. And I don't see Agostino winning anything if he does take it to a court. I mean, UCI obviously they're not big, but they're a lot bigger than some rider that no one actually knows. So that's what. If he sues, I don't see him getting anywhere with that though.
Okay. I hope he wins. I really like underdogs and I like these kind of guys, and it's so sad for the sport that something like this has to happen. But yeah, it's the way of life. Some people lose, some people gain. Some people gain another guy's miseries. And this is how it is. But on to the final topic of this week. There's really no transitioning onto this. So, the guy that must not be named, who must not be named. This is just quoting Cosmo Catalano. Big fan of the guy. Keep it up. Lance Armstrong is now naming names again. He came back from the dead and started naming names again. That man is, oh my god, he's really trying to ruin the sport. What do you guys think of this? Like, why is he starting to name names again of who helped him dope and all that? And what does he have to gain from this? Baseballlover, you can start since you're American. I want to hear your opinion first.
I don't know what he has to gain. I mean, he said he wanted to be part of that program, Truth and Reconciliation, and everything like that. I mean, let him, I guess. He wants to name names. They're asking him to name names, so he can name names. I don't have a problem with it.
You don't have a problem with it? Why do you not have a problem with it?
Because, they asked him to name names.
Yeah,
And so he agreed.
but what is, like, you just ruin the sport even more than you help it.
Not really.
Like, what do you think?
Is it really ruining the sport? I don't say it's ruining the sport. I mean, because they're trying to come clean on their things. I mean, if you're just going to hide everything, you're not going to go anywhere, in my opinion. And I saw the article about it and the names he named. I mean, it wasn't shocking. I think a lot of people already knew the names that were out there. I mean, Ferrari was obviously one. The Philip Marie, I can't remember who it was, but he was one. The Motor Man.
Yeah.
It didn't really shock anyone, the names he named. I mean, obviously he's got. I don't think he's got any issues. I mean, he's not going to get in trouble for naming these names because these guys, I don't think they're going to do much about it now. They're not going to lose that much from it because these guys are long gone now. I doubt any of them are working right now in the peloton. But Lance has got to do what Lance does, and he's probably got some secret plan to fix up his reputation.
I said
Like
this
Cosmo
before,
said,
though. Yeah.
Voldemort.
I said this before, though. I want them to stop caring about the past and focus on the now. Let Armstrong be dope. Let those guys in the 1990s be dope. Just let them be. Close the case. Get on with life. And then today, now you can look at who's dope. Finally catch Froome. Move on with life. I mean, I'm so sick and tired of hearing, oh, in 1996, Bjorn Reis was doped, and Jan Ullrich was doped, and the top 10 was doped, and it's coming out in 2013, 2014. There's no need for this. All you're doing is just taking every single breath away from the sport, and everything there is to, like, enjoy with the sport. You're just taking away. I mean, just, please stop. I mean, that's all my memories, they go away. Just let it be, focus on the now, and don't look 10 years behind. Like, look 10 years ahead instead. No way to run the sport. What do you guys find on my opinion on this?
Yeah, I can see where you're coming from. I think that they should definitely look at the future, but again, people look at the sport and think of the past, and that's what they got to fix as well. I mean, you can't just leave the past. You got to look like you're going to do something to fix it, though. And saying that, they got to be looking like they got to do something at UCI, because cycling has got a bad reputation these days, and
they're
they
not
got to
helping
fix
it.
it.
They're not helping it by finding older sinners and finding new sinners. I mean, they're not.
But people in the public want to know about. People want to know that who it was, and because they already know the bad past. I mean, I don't know. It's a very difficult topic, but I don't know. Maybe they should. Maybe they shouldn't.
Okay, well, I can see, but I think that's all for today, guys. Thank you guys for coming up for the stream. Thank you guys for...
Wait, we forgot about Shelter Priest.
I guess we can... Well...
The best race. Kittle won, but who got second? That's what we wanted to know.
And on that note, guys, thank you guys for coming out. Thank you for commentating with me. Baseball Lover got us for Raw Spotlight after the day. That should also be a new feature of this, for Raw Spotlight after the day, of the week. So, thank you guys for watching, thank you guys for coming out. Please like this, please go on Twitter, not Twitter, go on iTunes, go on SoundCloud, and go on Daily and like our stuff. If you do like it, I'm not going to force you, but it really helps us getting out there. Go to TheChudude's channel, go to Baseball Lover's channels. Those guys are upcoming talents. They have fire potential and everything. They're
just
going to be
like
big one
guessing.
day.
You can compare us straight to guessing right here.
Oh, you're not upcoming talent for years? Yeah. It's like it is with the pro cycling manager community. But thank you guys for coming out. Hope you enjoyed our topics. It's a very good video. Well, I liked it. And we'll be seeing you guys around. See you guys later.